Welcome, y'all. You know, if it was up to me, we would be dancing the entire time, okay? Who's in the house today? We got Marie in the house. We got Samantha in the house. Pedro, how are you, brother? Kathy. We got Eric. Hey, Eric. We got George, Lori, Amanda, Monica. All my people in the house. Y'all, it's that time again. We're back, y'all. My favorite time of the month, Give It a Webinar time. And today we have one of my favorite people. Dana Snyder is in the house, y'all. Y'all, we are going to be talking about all of the things that you need to supercharge your monthly giving, y'all. And it's going to be super exciting, okay? In case you didn't already know, my name is Floyd Jones. I am based here in New York, New York. I'm in Harlem in the house. I am the Director of Community and Partnerships here. I love working with grassroots organizations. Okay, Angel said, we know. Come on now. I love it. And you know, if you know me, I'm a Capricorn. I'm a number 3 on the Enneagram. I love a good plan, but I love to have some fun, okay? And that is exactly what we're gonna do today, y'all. So thank you for letting us know who you are. Okay, y'all, we are planning already for our 2024 webinar series. Can you believe it? Y'all, I feel like the year is just like zipping by. Does everybody else feel like the year is zipping by? I know I do, okay? So, right, Grace, I do love a plan. So we're already planning for our 2024, and I want to hear from you. What are some webinars that you all want to see? So we're going to launch this poll real quick. Do me a favor, y'all. Let me know, what do you guys want to see in our future webinars? I have some plans, okay? We have some good speakers in the works. We got some good topics in the works. But y'all, next year, we are going to take this to the next level. Can y'all see the poll? Let's see. Okay, I love it. Let's get some votes in there. Come on, y'all. I want to see. Oh, I think we have a couple of questions in here. Hold on. I don't know if that was a typo. But anyway, I see y'all doing that. Well, while you're answering, while you're working on that, I am super excited because today is going to be one of the best sessions, y'all. We're going to give you all the tips, and we have a special giveaway, okay? I don't want to hear nobody talking about give it or don't do nothing for us, okay? No. Not only are we giving y'all facts and knowledge, but we have a special giveaway from our host, Dana Snyder, and we're going to get into that in a second. All right, I'm going to close this poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see what y'all said. Okay, I see turning volunteers into donors is ranked a little high. How to start a planned giving program. Okay, we might have to bring Tony back. Okay, I love this. Well, our team, we're gonna take a little screenshot from this. Grace, I hope you got this info. We're gonna take a little screenshot and we are gonna keep going, okay? All right, y'all. So you know the rules. You know how we get down here. Housekeeping. The recording and the slides will be emailed. Y'all, do me a favor, okay? Someone's going to join a little bit late. They're going to ask if these slides are going to be recorded and sent to them. And I want y'all to say yes, okay? Because Grace is tired of typing the same thing, okay? These slides are going to be recorded, so make sure you tell your friends we're all one fan here. Use the Q&A. We're going to end around the 45 section, y'all, so we can make sure that we answer all your questions. So use the Q&A, but also comment and use emojis. Me and Dana, you know us. We're going to go back and forth. If you haven't heard the Missions to Movement podcast, check out the Missions to Movement podcast. Check out my episode. Y'all going to love it. Y'all going to be at home, but y'all know us. So use a comment, use emoji, chat with us. And then before sending a message, make sure you're chatting to everyone. Y'all, we didn't ask this before, but who is in the Facebook fam? Are you in the Facebook fam? Are y'all hanging out with us on the Facebook fam? If you are in the Facebook fam, I want to see it in the chat. Let us know. That's where it goes down. We're giving away donations in the Facebook fam. We're giving away tips, tricks, resources, all, and you're going to get more Floyd in the Facebook fam, okay? Come on now. So if you're not in the Facebook fam, make sure you get in there. Okay, we did welcome. We did some introductions. We have give it or announcements and updates. I have one really quick special announcement. I'm super excited. Then we're going to do all things Dana, okay? We're going to launch a giveaway, the winner, and we're going to do some Q&A. So I don't know if it's in here, but before we get to anything else, I want you to know Dana Snyder, okay? Dana is the host with the Dana, can you come up on here? I'm gonna read your bio, but I want to see you. I want to see you live in living color. Hey, Dana.
Giving me all the life.
Listen, right back at you.
The life.
Right back at you.
Or wait, I can't see though. I can't see me. Am I on here too?
Oh, let me bring you up. Let me bring you up. See,
I'm
come
the
on.
hidden voice behind the black
2024,
screen.
2024, we're getting. Can you see Dana now? Can you see you?
Whoop,
Oh my.
whoop.
So Dana is the host of the Missions to Movement podcast and the CEO of Positive Equation. Y'all, can you just say addition, not subtraction? That's what you're gonna get. Okay, addition, not subtraction. It's only going up from here. Okay.
That's
They
right.
help nonprofits with their visibility and impact through social media, marketing, and monthly giving programs. And it says you're the ultimate multitasker of what? Tell me more. As of April 8th, tell me a little bit more.
So I had to update this. You will all see some really cute photos of my 5-month-old Kennedy, but she was born on April 8th. And I was laughing yesterday because as I was like making final edits on this slide, I was pumping while making her puree. We've started solids and I was working on an email and on this deck. And I was like, okay, my fun fact is I'm officially like the biggest multitasker. If any other moms can relate to that.
You do literally all the things and you do them with such prestige, okay? And Kennedy is literally a dream. I can't wait for you guys to see her beautiful pictures because what? Come on now. I love it. Y'all, before I hand it over to Dana, we have an amazing giveaway. Do you want to tell people a little bit more about this giveaway?
Yeah, I would love to. So I have, as Floyd has mentioned, he was on the podcast just recently. I have a podcast, Missions to Movements, and I wanted to do something really fun and different for the month of October. And because we have so many events coming up with nonprofits, I wanted to offer basically a behind the scenes of my consulting calls. So we can book a 45-minute call together and we'll dive into whatever you want. I just did one this week and they threw questions at me about their monthly giving program. They were asking questions about email marketing. They were asking questions about their website. And so I pulled up everything and we did this consulting call together. And then I just take that recording and it's kind of you paying it forward. And the consulting call is going to go on my podcast to share with
Come
others
on.
because I think we all have so many common questions together. So if you're down for, usually this is going to be like a $250, $300 thing that's free. So if you want some consulting, I think Grace is going to drop a form, fill out the form
Yes.
in the chat. And
Grace,
then,
drop the form. We'll
yeah,
keep
and at the end, we're going to pick somebody like today, right now.
We're gonna pick someone today, so don't be one of those who jump in, jump out. Okay, you had to be here live to receive the prize. But thank you so much, Dana. You are nothing but generous, and we're so grateful for you. But y'all, take a chance, fill out that form, and I'm not gonna talk too much more because you got a lot to come in. So I'm gonna hand it on over to you. Let me stop sharing my screen. Do you want me to keep sharing my screen, or do you want to share yours?
Go ahead. You can keep sharing it. Just keep the flow. And then we'll just do a
Perfect.
little like boop next.
Perfect. And you tell me next slide, okay?
You got it.
Night.
I am so excited to be here with everybody today. The energy, let's just keep this going. And I love engagement and throwdowns in the chat. Like Floyd's already started it so well. And today is a great time to be talking about ways to supercharge your year-end fundraising with monthly giving. So we can go on to the next slide, which is just, we already did an introduction to who I am, but I love working in the nonprofit sector. I started my career working with nonprofits, working at a nonprofit in 2010. And since then, it's been a blur. But I started my company in 2017 and love working with social media ads and monthly giving programs. And now on the next slide, being a mom, it has come full circle into really making sure that I can create sustainable efforts in my own career. So this is her as a newborn, but then next slide, she is no longer this tiny anymore. Now she is a big old 5-month-old sitting on her own, and it blows me away. But I like to put practices into my organization, into my company that can allow me to spend more time with this adorable human being on the screen. So if you want to spend more time with a bunch of other activities that you're doing and really focused on stewardship, monthly giving is where it's at. Oh, Melissa, thank you. Thank you. Everybody saying she's adorable and cute. Thank you so much. So let's chat. Let's get things started. There's going to be a question that's going to pop on the screen. I have a couple of them for you. And I want to know, how do you feel about your monthly giving program? And just type one word. So if you don't have one, you could be like non-existent. Okay, we got ugh, slow, lackluster, opportunity. Love that. Fair. Whoa, it's blowing up. None, mid. We got a lot of mess. Good. Okay. Oh, we're gonna have to pull these. New. Building it out. Steady. Work in progress. Neglected. Oh my gosh, so many comments. Okay, these are amazing. All right. So now take that feeling. How do we feel about the program? And the next slide is, what do you think for why it's happening? What's holding you back? One sentence or one word, couple phrases. What's holding you back from having a really successful time? Oh my gosh, time. Everybody's time. How to start, energy. I
Oh my
feel
God,
that.
everyone's saying time. I love it.
Everyone's saying time. Yeah, how to start stat. Oh my gosh, mostly just time. Okay, now, if we had the time, if we had the staff, if we had the energy, finish this sentence. If we had a successful monthly giving program, it would help us accomplish blank. What would it help you? Oh, sustained giving. Everything, says Emily. So much growth, community building, our mission, sustainability. Oh my gosh, goals. Okay, there are so many people saying everything. Yes. There's going to be a part of this presentation where I actually talk about, is a monthly giving program the right fit for you? But look at these answers. Like, you are telling yourselves, this is amazing. Okay, beautiful. Let's go ahead and jump in. So our agenda today is going to be covering a few things. One, I want to go over the state of monthly giving. And this is very timely. Floyd, Grace, and I did like a Kickstarter call yesterday to chat about prepping for this. And I just had an interview that's not going to come out until October. Actually, that's a lie. I think it comes out at the end of this month, with Woodrow Rosenbaum, and he's the Chief Data Officer for Giving Tuesday. So really perfect timing for our conversation. And we were talking all about what has the giving looked like over the past year, and then really specifically Q1 of this year. And I think what we've all heard is that it's been going down. Right. And there's been a lot of emphasis on major donors, but the big thing that we need to do is focus on having a diverse set of donors. So Floyd, you can go ahead and jump to the next slide. So I want to talk about the state of monthly giving first. So before I jump into the next couple of slides, talking specifically about the nonprofit sector, when I was talking with Woodrow, I wanted to do some just background information myself. And show of hands in the chat, do you have more than 3 subscriptions? Could be Netflix, to me, Netflix, Hulu, Max. I do a clothing rental. Okay. Yes. I see a couple, more than 5. Yes. Okay. Did you know? this blew my mind, which is actually very true looking at mine. Millennials have plus or minus right around 17 subscriptions. 17. Spending about $273 per month on subscriptions. Yeah, I totally believe it. I was counting mine and I'm at least at 10, not just entertainment, but a bunch of subscriptions. And the subscription economy is set to reach $1.5 trillion by 2025. So basically saying, in the overall consumer state of mind, we are so used to set it and forget it, right? We're so used to take my card. Thank you very much. I want to continue to receive this thing every single month with whatever it is. I think Apple charges me for about 6, Floyd says. I know, I get those text messages too. And I'm like, what is this? But go ahead and go to the next slide. Specifically within the nonprofit sector, this was an article that popped up, and I thought it was really interesting that with all the kind of doom and gloom that we hear around the economic uncertainty and one-time gifts, literally, boom, it says monthly giving can help nonprofits weather this, and here's how to do it well. And if you're interested, you can save these links for later. I just put the link to the article in the chat. But why, right? I think we know all of these things from all the amazing comments that came in. Monthly giving creates reliable income. There's an extremely high retention rate, 80, 90% usually. I'm in the process of writing a book and interviewing 15 different nonprofits who have monthly giving programs, and the attrition rates are like 0.1%. It's huge. And there's loyalty. Like, monthly givers are saying, like, I'm in for the long haul, right? Like, I am dedicated to give to you every single month. Tell me more information. I have fully opted in. I'm committed. So there's a big piece of loyalty there. Go ahead and go to the next slide, Floyd. And I'll share this article too. This was from Nonprofit Pro. When we were talking, there was a report that came out with giving that one time was down, right? All these down numbers. But the one thing that I don't think has been discussed as much, maybe because we have this like fear mentality, but is monthly giving actually increased 11% and accounted for nearly a third of online giving. So y'all are in the right place to be thinking about this, to be nurturing a monthly giving program. And this is the perfect season to do so. So let's go ahead and jump into the next slide. I don't know if you're surprised by this number or not, Y or N if you are, but 45%, so nearly half of donors worldwide are enrolled in monthly giving programs. And then, which I found maybe more shocking on the next slide, it says 40% of millennial donors are enrolled in a monthly giving program, 49% Gen X, and 49% a baby boomer. So this is not just a young people's thing that millennials and Gen Z are doing. No, like every generation appreciates the ability to be asked to join a monthly giving program. Yes, Kay says not surprised because of heavy ads by St. Jude's, etc. Yes. And you know what's actually interesting? Woodrow and I were talking about this in our conversation, that when big nonprofits are running these large ad campaigns, it's doing you an incredible service. If you're a smaller organization and you think in your mind, oh, there's no way I can compete with seeing ads like this, they're actually triggering in people's minds the organizations that are close to their hearts. So by seeing, if St. Jude has an ad running about Giving Tuesday, I'd be like, oh, wow, that's right. My local nonprofit probably has something going on. Let me go see what they're working on. So he was talking about how big ad spends by larger organizations actually really help trickle down to smaller. Thought that was fascinating. That's a little side point. So also continuing on, I asked GiveButter specifically if we could pull some stats because I was curious about monthly giving on their platform. And so the first thing that we looked at was this. What is the most popular payment method for recurring gifts? A card was the most at 67%. And then second most popular was PayPal at 30%. I think this is just proven point to have multiple options in your payment to make sure that you're not excluding somebody if they prefer to pay a certain way. And then next up, there's a great option on GiveButter forms for different types of recurring giving, but 94% prefer monthly giving as opposed to like an annual that's always recurring or quarterly. So if you can, to make sure to have that monthly as like the first option. So I thought that was really powerful. And then proof in the concept all comes down to the dollars, right? The average monthly giving gift plan on their platform was $67.72. So if we look at that from a monthly perspective, year round, 812 versus quarterly 270 versus $106 for a one-time gift. That is a no-brainer, right? So continuing on, I just wanted to share that's kind of the overall state. You are in the right place to be focusing on monthly giving. But let's talk about, what do you think? What's your guess? What's the number one reason people aren't giving monthly to your organization? Karen, nailed it. Becky, you rocked it. Exactly. Floyd, next slide. Not asking. We don't ask, which I don't know why this is a shocker, but there's a little bit of ask paralysis. And I think partly it could be because if we're thinking of asking for like big gifts from our major donors, we're thinking, oh, maybe they're not gonna be a monthly. If we ask them to be a monthly donor, they're not going to give as a major donor. And that's absolutely not true. I'm a monthly donor to multiple organizations. And if there's a compelling, impactful ask to give once, I'm going to do that too. Recurring givers are your most passionate donor base, and they don't just stop with a monthly donation. They will often give more. And yes, this is very true. Amanda, that's another one. We aren't promoting it. You have to talk about a monthly giving program. One of the organizations that I've already interviewed for my book is Charity Water. And with the spring, they have 60,000 plus monthly donors, which I know seems bananas. But when they were just starting out and they were nowhere near that, they said they just talked about it all the time, everywhere they went. And this is why. We see 6,000 to 10,000, believe it or not, ads per day. So we are living in the attention economy. And in the attention economy, next slide, every second counts. So if you can hold a potential donor for longer, not only does it lead to greater engagement, brand recall, improved trust, but it also affects your bottom line, which means more donations. So the other thing that can happen is ask confusion. So here on this slide, you're seeing there's a copy. Your donation gives children, women, and families the opportunity to do more with their lives in the slums of India. We thank you. This is kind of generic copy. Like, what specifically are you doing? Nothing here is really distinguishing what you do versus maybe another organization that also does work there. There's one time and a monthly ask instead of just monthly. So we want to make the ask very specific. There's random dollar amounts here. There's nothing really showcasing the impact tied to each dollar amount. So maybe my attention's a little bit all over the place because I'm not getting like specific information that I need to make a decision. On the next slide, this was an organization that I worked with in my monthly giving mastermind program. I love them. Roots Ethiopia, shout out. This was their monthly giving program page before we revamped it. So right at the top, you'll see there's a donate button. And then down below, it says grow a family's future today. That's what their program used to be called. Some small copy, but when you scroll down, it's about it. There was no other donate button. It was just at the top. So here, I don't really fully understand like what's making the program unique. It's not really calling me in and identifying with what my values and my beliefs are as a person. Yes, Cindy's here. Yay. She says, shout out to Megan. Exactly. So here it was a little unclear, right? I didn't feel compelled as somebody to visit this site to make a gift. Next slide. Also ask confusion. This is one email that went out. One email. And if you can count all of those arrows, there are 6 of them. You can go ahead to the next slide. There are 6 different calls to action. Robert goes, wowza, in this one email. Again, ask confusion, way too much going on. We had a great conversation. We actually did, because Cindy's here. She was part of my monthly giving mastermind. And we did a little reunion talking about, is it better to have one email with one call to action versus something like this? And I always say, if our attention is way too split, 1 to 2 things is like really good to focus on if you're trying to draw a point across and get somebody to take a call to action. So let's go ahead and dive into, we've got the ask confusion. So how do we fix this? What are really the core ingredients to a strong monthly giving program? And we're about to start my gifts because they're my favorite. Let's bump to the next slide. I wish we had Destiny's Child playing. Ingredient number 1, a name. An easy to remember, say the name. You have to be able to say the name. So this is going to look familiar. Robert and Cindy, who I saw were in here. Go ahead to the next slide. We go through an exercise in my mastermind. That's a monthly giving program naming exercise. And at the end, I'm actually going to give you a checklist that has all of the questions that we go through within the program at the very end. So stay tuned for that. But we do this in Canva and we do a bunch of Post-it notes. You can do this in your offices or at your home offices. And essentially you need to ask, like, is this program name something that's easy to say? Does it roll off the tongue? Does it fit with our cause, with our mission? So there's a bunch of different questions to go through, but having a monthly giving program is not just a checkbox, which we're going to go through. It actually has a name that you feel attached to as a community. Number 2, clear and compelling website design and copy. This is huge, especially on mobile. Betsy, she says, I'm struggling to find the right name. We got you. This checklist at the end, I think, will really help to kind of narrow that down. So, right, just like this, are you talking to me? In your website, we want to make sure that you're calling in the right person. So let's look at some examples. So on the next slide, this is, remember, this was the original Roots Ethiopia page, right? It's kind of like small text that in the main header, I just did a digital marketing audit with a local Boys and Girls Club this week. And one of the things I looked at through a tool called Microsoft Clarity, write it down, it's free, Microsoft Clarity. It shows you heat maps of your websites. And oh my goodness, you guys, 90% of people don't go below the fold. So if you're somebody who has a really long homepage website, no one's getting below basically where that image is. Like, people are spending all their time there and then they're moving on. So anything that you have at the top, make sure that's front and focus. So this was the original. Now let's go ahead to the next slide when we revamped it. Now look at this copy, right? Boom, right at the top. Imagine not sending your child to school because you can't afford a uniform, pen and paper. I can visually see that. And a pair of shoes. I can see that. Your gift of $32 a month, specific, can send a child in Ethiopia to school for a full year. Boom. Andy,
I just want to jump in. I don't want to cut too much, but I also want you guys to pay attention. You can now feel something different.
Yeah.
Okay. When you did this revamp, I actually felt a different way. And I really want to invite you all when you are building, remember, when you're building your programs, you're building them for people to be a part of. You're building a community for people to join. They want to join something they can actually feel a physical change in response to. So they know I am now making a direct impact. So come on, Dana, keep the say that.
Oh, and I can't take credit for any of this. We have a copywriter in our program, and our copywriter is amazing. We go through like full exercise to understand who your main avatar is, who your monthly donor is, and then creating copy based on that. But yeah, huge difference. And then right next to it, you have the opportunity to give, and it matches that 32 amount. So to Floyd's point, let's dive into this copy a step further. So next slide, if you were to scroll down the page, right below that headline, unshakable in our vision of a poverty-free world. We are a group of people who see the future as a poverty-free world and who take action to make it so. Community priorities are our priorities. That's why we give villages. You notice like these are very simple words. Yes, our, we, even you, like collectively pulling people together. So you want to, again, are we sharing, are we writing our values, our beliefs to call in people like us? There was a great, during the Community Boost event, which I know Floyd was a part of, John and Becky did from We Are For Good, did an interview with Seth Godin, who's incredible. And he was talking about people give for really two reasons. A, that you're going to feel good about yourself, right? B, they want to say, oh yeah, I'm a part of that community. Oh, that's why we wear shirts that have different logos on them. I'm representing, like, yep, I'm a part of that group of people. I believe in those things. So this is doing the same thing. Next slide. Shout out to Robert, who's on here. We also, his program's called The Path. And same thing. Life gets better when we're together on the path. The Path is a family of action takers like you. You know, just like we do, right? It's very friendly. And we looked at their brand to create this language, but you want to think about on your websites where you're making this ask. Are you having like a friendly personal conversation with people? Or does it sound just like a corporate donate X amount, blah, 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 like everybody else? And that's not what you want, right? So let's go ahead to the next slide. So very compelling, clear website design and copy. And then this is so important, having a simple donation process with giving options. So important. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of examples here. So this is an old example of what a form might look like, right? So simple dollar amounts, generic checkoff buttons. This is what I think a lot of us are used to what forms looking like. We would click next, and then we would end up going down a long form. Then we'd probably click next again to confirm the credit card information. And it's this long series versus when we have a form like this is from Jen's Legacy, specifically for monthly giving. This is a Give Butter form. Notice it's pre-highlighted on monthly. They do have one-time, quarterly, and yearly accessible if somebody wants to toggle off, but it's pre-selected as monthly. And if this was embedded onto a website, I would hope it would be on that monthly page. So you're already used to being like, okay, yes, this is on a monthly page. I'm going to give monthly. And what I also love here is her dollar amounts have an impact associated with each of them. So she's saying what a $15 gift can do, what a $25 gift can do, etc. And then another example, go ahead and go to the next one. This is 1908 Monthly Giving Society. So they outline some more context above the form. And then they also say $22.50 pays for 1 hour of tutoring, $40 underwrites uncovered costs associated with a day of healthy snacks, etc. So they're also tying together an impact number with the amount. One thing that I love, go ahead into the next example. That's, oh wait, no, this is later. I'll do the upsell one later. No, go ahead, Floyd. You're good. I thought it was in the next slide. So here what happens is once you select your dollar amount, it's very easy. You're selecting pay with card or PayPal. If you want to give an honor or memory of somebody and you're clicking finish, it drops down an extra credit card form and you're done. right within the same pop-up. So frictionless, seamless, easy. And then what I do love is there is the option with Give Better, and you'll even see right next to donation, it says monthly. If somebody's on, I just saw like Jamie's note here, had to refund donors because they weren't happy it was set to monthly automatically. Again, this is having a monthly giving program. So in my mind, this person is coming to a monthly giving page. The page is all designed for nothing but giving monthly versus if you have just a checkbox on a form on your homepage. Yeah, exactly. That's the difference. So here, like the idea is you're creating a monthly giving program, not just an ask to give monthly. That's a really big distinction. If it's just an ask to give monthly, then they're maybe not seeing all of this extra like language and visuals and copy that we're talking about. Okay, go ahead to the next one. So we have a really easy name to remember. We have got clear, compelling website design and copy. We've got a great, simple donation process. And then we got to talk about it. Promotion, 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 either through videos, through social ads. Anytime you have an event, you have a presentation, social proof in your emails talking about why they love joining X program. So just as an example, the next slide is going to show you a couple of different examples of content we created with Roots Ethiopia. So this is for their program, The Roots. And they're on the left-hand side, these are social ads that were ran. And then they also have a video that's right on their monthly giving page that tells, it's a very short, less than a minute and 30 seconds, because we also created it to be a reel on Instagram, a vertical format. And she uses this email also, I think she mentioned yesterday, in her welcome series. And so towards the end of her welcome series, it plays the video. And then the next email, there's an ask to join the Roots. So promotion all the time. And then next slide. Once you have your monthly giving program, you want to remember to have growth opportunities. Oh, if we have time, Suzanne, I'd love to play the video. We'll come back to that. I'll make a note. You want to make sure that, yes, they've said yes to give, and coming around to Giving Tuesday and year end is a great time to have and remember this in your conversations, a recurring first ask mentality. I think we're very used to ask donors for a one-time gift first, then convert them. That's really difficult. And I think a lot of one-time donors will never become monthly donors because that wasn't their intent from the get-go. They could have just given once because a friend asked them to, versus if they're coming in and they're really passionate about the cause. Not to say that they can't convert, they can, but with what I was talking about with Woodrow yesterday, with what I'm looking at with the subscription economy, I would strongly suggest making a recurring first ask for Giving Tuesday and for end of year, and start small. Maybe it's a $5 a month ask for people who are brand new, but then you have a growth opportunity. So go ahead to the next slide, because there's a great option on Give Better forms where you can ask for additional information to get to know that person a little bit better. So in this case, they're asking specifically, their name gets to get featured on a donor honor roll, and it's a Boys and Girls Club. So they're asking if they're an alumni. Great question, because then you can target them with other specific emails and conversation later. So let's just say this person gave $5. They're a first-time monthly donor, but then come February, I'm going to wait until the new year. And now I'm going to say, hey, thank you so much for being an alumni. That's amazing. We'd love to hear about your experience. We're working on X, Y, and Z programming. Would you consider, based upon our goals for this year, bumping your gift from $5 to $15 a month, right? So you can add a little bit of customization in your materials, which is so important as well. So I love that this is an option. So let's go ahead and jump to the next slide. Here's a key question. Does a monthly giving program make sense for your nonprofit? Because there is effort. I know from people in here who've gone through my mastermind, there is effort that goes into it, but it can be so worth it. So next slide. Do you want to invest in growing a program that, yes, it will take time to build? I am not questioning that, but will yield long-term sustainable donations. I think, Cindy, we were talking that there's been donors who give for 3+ years yesterday, right? So long-term sustainable donations, and don't be afraid to ask for those to increase. Number 2, time came up a lot. Are you willing to dedicate part of a staff member's time that can give this community attention? or bring on an intern or bring on some volunteers or bring on somebody part-time to help make sure that this community gets nurtured, because they want the attention. They want to know what's going on with your organization. They want more emails from you. And then lastly, do you have the right platforms to help you really automate and scale this program? Okay, so I want you to think about these three things. It's important. It takes time. Again, we're not talking about just a checkbox. We're talking about an official program that makes people super excited to join. So let's talk about 5 secrets, and then we're going to open up to Q&A because there's so many amazing things happening in the chat. So number 1 of the 5 secrets, which I just said, it's more than a checkbox. It's more than a checkbox on a giving form. It really is. Like, I strongly recommend recurring first, approaching it with a name, with a story. It's a community. The best comparison is a monthly giving program is a product. It's a product that you offer that is serving your mission. And we as Netflix is a product, but how many millions of us subscribe to Netflix, right? Number 2, naming. Think about the sentence, I joined blank. I'm a part of blank. How does it sound when you're thinking about your name? I have the checklist coming right up for you that you'll be able to grab in a second when brainstorming a name of a program. So we want to think about the name. Number 3, on your website, does your copy speak to that ideal monthly donor? Are we pulling them in, right? Are we attracting the right person with the same values and beliefs as you do? Number 4, we want to remove any giving confusion. We want to make sure that it is super simple to give. We're not having, and especially on mobile. Number 5, clear and consistent promotion through ads. Don't be afraid to send those emails, multiple emails. Do you know how many emails I get bombarded with on Black Friday from all these companies? And I don't unsubscribe, but I might get only one email from a nonprofit, or there's one social post that goes out. Like, don't be afraid to do more of this. And then lastly, quick blurb, you are invited if you're interested in learning more about my monthly giving mastermind. The next round's not going to start until 2024. So lots of time to think about it. But included in the program, if you go to the next slide, we do a full donation audit. We build out the website landing page, thank you page. We do the copywriting. It's like a mini agency for you. We do social ads and a month of launch support. And then now I love having the reunion calls like we had yesterday, bringing multiple mastermind groups together. So if you are interested in that, just ping me afterwards on LinkedIn. I'll go ahead and put the link when we're getting questions together to the mastermind for you to learn more, but that's something that's coming up. And the next slide, which I told you were going to get, the monthly giving program naming exercise. I think there's 11 questions in this checklist to ask yourself that might help you and your team narrow down what a solid name could be for your program. So scan this QR code, and then it will hit your inbox with the checklist for more information. And that was a whole lot. I was trying to go so fast though we would have time.
Oh my good. I'm sitting here writing down notes. I'm like, first of all, I need Microsoft Clarity for my writing and for my life. Okay.
Yes, Microsoft Clarity, it's free. It's free. Get it.
That was incredible. Y'all, can we put some hearts before we get into this Q&A? Can we put some hearts, some love in the chat for Dana? If you thought that was good stuff, let me see some hearts in there, because Dana, I need you to collect these flowers. Okay?
And let's do one more. I don't know if the person was already picked, but the form, the 45-minute consulting session could be literally talking about this.
You literally beat me to it, because while those hearts are coming in, let me go ahead and read the winner. Let me pull up my messages and see if Grace sent me something. Hold on.
Do we have a winner? Do we have a winner?
Grace, let's see. Okay, while we're getting the winner.
Oh, Grace says to check your Slack.
Oh, I did check it.
There's a winner sitting in Slack.
Okay, while we're doing that, let's get to some of the questions, because that was amazing. And y'all, Dana dropped the link to the mastermind in there, but we will also put it in the recap email for you guys to check it out as well, okay? But we have a lot of questions, so let me go ahead and answer them. We probably won't be able to get to all of them. Oh, sorry, Grace did send it to me. My Slack was not updating. Okay, the winner. Can we get a little drum roll, please? Okay, the winner is Deborah Hopkins from Breaking the Chains Foundation. First of all, come on, name Breaking the Chains. Deborah, are
Oh,
you here? Is Deborah in the house? Come on, chain breaker.
Deborah, where are you?
Can we get some congrats? Is
Oh,
Deborah
she's here.
here? Yay!
Yay.
Deborah's here. Congrats, Deborah. First of all, I love our community. We are one, if we even if you don't win, we're out here celebrating people, okay? And y'all,
So
that
good.
is what makes this community so special, and that is how we make lasting change,
Wait, you
okay?
know what? Let's do
Mhm.
one more.
Wow, I love it here. Okay, let's ask some
I'm
questions.
making Grace do more work.
I know, right?
I'm sorry,
Okay,
Grace.
so let's answer some questions, and Grace will pick
Because
one
that
more
was so
person.
awesome that everyone's congratulating her. Let's do one more person.
Let's do one more person. That's why we love the Give It or fam. Okay, I don't know if Grace can find it that fast. We'll see. I'll give her like
Let's
one
do a
second.
question and then
Okay.
okay.
Okay. All right. So let me go through some of these questions because there's like 13 of them. Okay. Can you demonstrate we just talked about that? I noticed a number
Oh,
of
and I know we wanted the roots video too. If we have time to play it, I can pull it up.
Okay, this is a really good question, actually. Rita asks, we don't really have things that we can quantify by dollar amount. I know a lot of people fit into this boat. We're wanting to build a sanctuary. What would you give tips for people when they're doing? I have some thoughts, but I'd love to hear from you.
You're wanting to build a sanctuary. I wish there was more context about what type of like a sanctuary, like a church sanctuary. There's a lot of different types of sanctuaries.
Mm-hmm.
I would say anything visual. So even if the number doesn't necessarily break down, but if you were to say, you have a larger goal of X to make the sanctuary happen, and we need X donors at this amount, and this amount monthly that can make this happen over time. That's how I would break it out. And instead, you can be like, we need 15 people at this amount. Like, can you raise your hand for this? That's how I would break that down. And then you create dollar amounts based on that, based upon knowing if we get X amount of this number of people, it's going to get us to that big goal of making it happen. And then together, so as a community, you can show like those thermometers that you're like nearing that goal. It also helps you in email communication too. I know Floyd and I talk about segmentation all the time. And you can do this beautifully in Give Butter's backend. But it's to segment, and you can ask specific types of people for those different asks that you have. So I hope that helps.
It does. And one thing I was gonna say was I see this
Oh,
all
a
the
cat sanctuary. Okay.
I love that. That's so sweet.
I
Another
think
thing
there's so many things that you can do with that with numbers.
exactly. And I was gonna say, if you check out the most recent winner from our Give It or Gives Back Black Philanthropy Month, God's Secret Service agents, go to the website, you'll see it. One thing that I loved that they did was that when they raised a specific amount of money, they said, this is going to get us to phase one of the building, because they were doing a building project as well. And they said, if we raise $10,000, we're going to be able to complete the entire foundation. And phase two, oh my gosh, y'all, we have walls. And they put pictures as well. And so people, when they were giving and they were donating, they're like, oh, if I give $10 a month, I know I'm going to be able to help them get that foundation built. You know what I mean? So I definitely would check that out. Thank you, Rita. Okay.
Great question.
Melissa says, is it okay to default to monthly on a donation form, even if it's not specifically for monthly giving? I think you answered this question, but do you want to shed a little bit light?
Yeah, I mean, I think if the language is clear that it's monthly, sure. Again, I love it to be on a separate page. If it's on your home page, I would probably default to one time and then give the opportunity for it to be bumped to monthly. But on the monthly page, I would have it definitely be monthly.
And one thing that I wanted to point out when you were talking about asking people to increase their gift, because I know there's a lot of apprehension around that. One, the apprehension is in your mind. So pay attention to that and get through that. So that's a big thing. But then two, I also make sure when you're making that ask, communicate the impact as well. So you also are talking about, here's what we want to do in 2024. Here's what our goals are in this next year. But if you increase by just $10 more, you're going to help us do XYZ thing as well. You know what I'm saying? So continue communicating that impact, because remember, it's an exchange, right?
You are providing to everyone on this call, whenever you ask for a gift, you are giving somebody the opportunity to do something amazing. and they're going
Oh,
to feel good about that. Think of all the times we get asked to buy a product.
come on.
Like, dude, that mindset, please, please, please. If there's one thing that is different this year, every time you send that email, be like, boom, I just gave them the opportunity to do
Come
something
on.
amazing. Boom, I just gave them the opportunity to build a cat sanctuary. Boom, I
Right.
just gave them like, it should be so exciting every time you hit publish. Like, I'm about to change people's lives
Yes.
and they're helping us do it too. Like, please, 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 please remove that. I think
Right.
about it the same way for my services, and I'm sure Give Butter feels the same way. Like, whenever I'm sharing something, I'm like, I hope this is providing value to people, right? Like, I'm doing this of a service to hopefully teach. Like, I have an ads challenge literally right after this. And when I sent it out, it's like, oh, I'm going to help people build up their email addresses by teaching them this. Like, there's always a value. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
shoe companies aren't worried about contacting us to buy their shoes.
They are
No,
not. They
they're
are
not.
not. And the thing that I always say, before I launched my first ever giving program, I had a meeting with all of our volunteers and I said, remember, people want to be a blessing. They want to do good things in the world. You not asking is blocking their blessing. Get out of your mind and stop blocking someone's blessing, okay? Don't be a block, be a bridge. Don't be a
Yes.
block, be a bridge,
I
okay?
told Floyd, y'all, I think Give Butter should create like a little SMS message to everybody every day that's just like Floyd's voice that jumps into your phone in the morning for giving season. Just yes, Rita's down for this. Yes, please.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
So
Okay,
every day,
let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, so
I
Amina
just totally
asked,
gave your team an idea. There you go.
right, content is spinning. So Amina asked, how much time do you need to spend in doing this course? I'm a solo person, but I also want a monthly giving program. So Dana, I want you to talk about the course, but I also want you to talk about building a monthly giving program at large, because I think that's
Yeah.
also important.
Yeah. So if you're talking about the mastermind, so it's not really a course per se. It's like we are like a mini agency that's helping to execute a bunch of stuff for you. The whole process takes 3 months for it to go live, and then there's a month of support for launch. So it's like 3 months of working with you to make sure that obviously we're on brand and getting your reviews on copy and the video and all the things, working with the team. But I would say, like, obviously we don't have 3 months before Giving Tuesday right now, but you can easily set up a Give Butter campaign page or embeds. Don't forget about the embeds. They have the embed elements that can go on your site. So you don't have to create necessarily a separate campaign page if you don't want to, but you could just spin up a campaign page, have it be specific for monthly giving. There's an episode of my podcast that I dropped very early into our conversation today. Let me see if I can pull it back up. And I did basically like an audit breakdown of 4 Give Butter Giving Tuesday campaigns. And I think 1 or 2 of them was monthly giving specific. And I have links in there too. Oh, if I can find it. Anyways, if you go to Positive Equation here, I can just go to the podcast page and I'm going to make it easier. Boom, here it is. I found it. This will break down some examples of, you don't have to spend 4 months you building a full program. Maybe do that later, but at least for now, get a monthly giving element set up on your site, or just create a campaign page.
Love that. So this is a good question from Garrett. Because we talked about monthly giving at large, but let's talk about it in the context of end of year. So Garrett asked, can you please talk more about how to integrate monthly giving into year-end campaigns? How to include the ask, but also have one-time options? I have an idea about this as well, but I want to hear from you.
Okay, so many things for that. I think it can be your whole campaign. That's an option. B, I think it goes back to segmenting. Like, you're good. Can you ask certain people in your audience to be monthly donors that are going to make sense to be, versus people who are going to give the one-time gift? So a little bit different messaging in those emails. So instead of just sending one blast email out to everybody, you're changing what the ask is. I would even change what the monthly giving amount is to certain people. Some people might be 5, some people might be 25, some people might be 50, right? But I love the idea, again, of that recurring first mentality ask. And then you have secondarily is the one-time ask to give. What's your thought, Floyd?
I love that. I would also say I love how you were talking about going in with it being with being the giving program, but that's where segmentation comes into play, right?
Yeah.
That's why I always say segmenting for success, because when you are launching your program, and I love end of year because people are one in the giving spirit, but they're
Yeah.
also looking ahead. Every November, every December, I'm like, what's my year in review? Who do I want to be next year? You know, all of the things,
Yeah.
right? That's the same thing for your organization. And now you're pulling people in and saying, okay, hey, here's what we did in 2023, and here's where we're going in 2024. And I want you to make an investment into the future,
Yes.
right? I want you to help write the next chapter of our organization. And here's how you can do it. Join.
The best example of this, there was one organization I did in the audit for on Give Butter. It's so cool. It's a restaurant that's donation based only. I don't know if you remember this one that you guys sent to me. But what their Giving Tuesday end of year campaign was.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I
Yes.
forget if it's in Alabama or Tennessee,
I
somewhere
don't
in the
remember.
South.
I'm like, well, I don't know my blanking on the name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's a restaurant donation based only. They have an idea in quarter one of how many meals they always provide, and it equaled about, I think their goal was 10,000. No, it was 4,500, and they raised over $10,000, I think. So they knew they needed to raise this specific dollar amount. And so they went into it with that ask to say, we want to provide this many meals in the first 3 months of the year. Will you help us fulfill that? And then as a monthly donor, you're going to help us continue after that. And that's, I mean, again, a beautiful visual.
Mm. Okay, I think we have time for maybe one or two more questions, and then y'all, we have a second winner.
Ah,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, this is from Makini. What type of creative acknowledgement have you seen be successful
Ooh.
in keeping donors? Bonus if it's inexpensive to produce or deliver.
Okay, great. This is you're just like, okay, whoever this is, what was the person's name?
Makini. I think I'm saying it
Bikini.
correctly.
I just dropped an episode for you, 5 creative ways to say thank you.
Do you just have these links? How you?
I just released it last week, which is
Oh
very timely.
my goodness.
So yes, I think saying thank you, we don't think about enough. We leave it until the end of the thought process of a campaign when it really should be the first. Oh, Robert, thank you. He says, excellent episode. It's short and sweet. I don't even know if it's like 10 minutes long. But yeah, 5 really simple ideas that will surprise and delight people. So I would invite you to go listen to that, and that will give you some ideas.
Love it. Okay. Kathleen, can a monthly giving program be beneficial to a nonprofit that focuses on economic vitality of a historic downtown area, focuses on bringing in new business in, supporting existing business, encouraging visitation? Yes, I'm gonna say yes, but you tell
Yes.
me what you think. Great.
Yes. It can
Love it.
anyone think about just really. I think what's an empowering exercise is write down all the things that you might subscribe to, or just Google search subscriptions. And you will be surprised at all the different things that people have the option of subscribing to. So the answer is yes.
I love it. Okay, this is actually an important one. So let's try to squeeze this in. Marilyn asks, can you demonstrate the naming and branding or I think Marilyn is asking, why does naming and branding of the program matter? We actually dropped the name of it, and we just now ask you to give monthly and join. We felt we were asking too much from people who are burned out by contrived join the movement asks. So I think what Marilyn is asking is, why does it actually matter? Or can we just say join them, get involved or make a donation monthly?
I love it from the standpoint of it's conversational and it provides a community feel to the program. So instead of just saying, I'm just going to pretend Give Butter is a nonprofit. Instead of just saying, go check out Give Butter link. Like I love to say I give monthly to Dressember. It's called The Collective. And so I am a part of The Collective, and this is why. And it creates that longer form story. And it, again, when think about right now, football just started. So we are fans. I don't know if anybody else is, but I am a UCF alumni. And so I'm a big time Knight. And so I wear the swag. I say go Knights. I love to be part of their football community. I'm an alum. Like everything about that, like, cultivates us in, again, for that shared values and beliefs. And I think that's what a name helps us do. Charge on. That's right. Yeah.
We did that. Okay, y'all. The winner, the second winner, because we got one more minute left. Beth Parker from Yakima Pride. Beth Parker from Yakima Pride.
Beth, are you here? Are you here? Oh,
I
Deborah,
hope
that's
Beth
where
is
my son
here. It's okay.
goes.
We only have like 30-ish seconds left. So if not, I'll be okay. We'll still email. Oh, Beth. Yes, Beth is here. Come on, Beth. That's what I'm talking
Yay!
about. Yes. Grace is gonna get in touch with both of y'all. Y'all, Dana, you are amazing.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Floyd.
Thank you so much. And y'all, thank you so much for being here, y'all. Guys, we are just getting started, okay? It is the beginning of giving season, and we have so much more in store, y'all. So I'm gonna end it here, but I want to say thank you. I want to say I'm grateful for you, and I'm gonna say I'll see you next time.